Oh, okay, and it looks like maybe, just maybe, let me see if I can do anything about this camera. One day we'll do a little better. One day I'll be able to do something about the camera. But, oh, wow. And it says I'm live, which is great. That means, hi, Renee. How you doing? Let me see if I can do anything about this camera. No, not really very much at all. Okay, just a little maybe. That's better. Okay, now if it'll stay there, we're going to be good. How you doing? I'll just wait a few minutes for people to start sorting it out that I'm coming in because I'm running late. I forgot today is Monday. Oh, geez. Why did the weekend just fly? And holidays just confuse the heck out of me. It's a holiday week, and somehow I always get confused around holidays. It confused me. The days flow weirdly, and you know. So basically, I've been a pretty busy shaman lately. But I'm still here. Am I showing up? I'll just leave it on. Hopefully somebody will figure it out. Oh my God. Something weird is going on with the stream. Oh, geez. Oh, boy. Something odd happened. I'm going to have to figure it out, guys. Hi. Oh, good. It is working. I ended up somehow with two. I don't know how it happened. I ended up with two streams. Believe me. Been an interesting week. Hi, Aaron. I'm running late. I realized I'm running late. It's not Sunday, it's Monday. I was supposed to be on at 10:30 and forgot about it. And thought, oh, it's okay. I got some time. I'm not on till 11 or 11:30. No, I was supposed to be on at like 10 or 10:30, somewhere in that time. I'm sorry. I was so tired today. Oh, my goodness. I was up till 4 last night. Hi, Richard. How are you doing? Sorry for being late. I feel like the White Rabbit now, late for a very important date. Um, I just had my days kind of crossed up as for times. Well, this is the real one, I think. It's because you guys are here. Yeah, somehow I ended up with two, and I'm like, what happened? Well, I had left a StreamYard browser window open, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? Well, it was so I'm seeing I get in and I'm looking and I'm seeing a stream that looks like it's happening as well as this one, and I'm just like, okay, something's wrong. But I think I managed to close it down. Sorry for all of this confusion, but I had to get a little bit of rest before I came on because it's been busy. I was up till 4 last night trying to sort some stuff out. Um, Apparently, healthcare is the latest way to harass people. I mean, it's, now a pretty reliable way to scare people. Not me. I'm okay. But now this makes two of my friends who, one, well, let's just say their family doesn't understand them. And so trying to give them the gift that keeps on giving, I guess, for Thanksgiving. Uh, because they have these wild beliefs. I don't want to go into it. I was up till 4 in the morning trying to deal with it. I'm not going to go into it. Good evening, dear. How are you doing, Marie Bon? This reminds me of back after 9/11 when everybody was suspicious of everybody. For a while there, everybody was angry and looking for somebody to beat up on. And they were just kind of beating up on each other for whatever they could find. As I recall, I had just launched a business, and I had just said very prophetically, because I had worked on it very hard to get it to happen. And I said, while I was working on it, going, gosh, what's going on? Is the world going to end just if I get a business, is it like the world going to end because I'm going to get a business up online? And very shortly, just a few days after I got my business up online, 9/11 happens and nobody wants to buy anything online. And I'm like, I shouldn't have said that, should I? I don't think it was me though, but it's like, was that another little premonition? The world didn't exactly end, but boy, oh, I'm so sorry. The world didn't end, but a lot of people were acting like it did. Or maybe it did. I don't know. Maybe the world ended. We didn't know. We're not informed. It could be, it could totally be that the world ended and nobody informed us. Except, Anyway, hey Elaine, how you doing? Oh, a beautiful summer morning. Well, good. Hi, Elaine, and hi. Okay. Denali is in. And Pappy Two Bear. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think the plan is to make us all mistrustful and of each other and everything. Yeah, I really think that if they could get to where uh, nobody trusts anybody and everybody's ratting out everybody, and you know, well, and they've nearly got that in some places. They've got that. In fact, it's keeps people under the thumb. What can I say? But I'm not going to go down the downer trail tonight too much. Um, I'm just going to discuss this thing that was brought up last time that I want to really hear your comments about. Is some people have brought this up besides me, but I have been thinking it for a long, long, long time. What if we're totally wrong about where we are in time? And what if this revelation stuff that was foretold in the Bible actually already happened, and we're in the post apocalypse era, waiting for it to come to a close? And my arguments being when you check off the things that were supposed to happen, most of them already happened to somebody. Although they didn't happen to everybody at the same time, they did happen uh, between uh, and the 1,000 years, especially considering that the Catholic Church added 1,000 years to the calendar, and that's bothered a lot of people. And I know it's bothered me for a while. Thinking 1,000 years, 1,000 years. Uh, why? I mean, they could do anything they wanted because they were totally in power for a while. But why would you do that unless you were trying to cover something and historically confuse the facts? Something. I mean, because they've added days before too. They added days. So why would you play with time that way? Oh, me too, Denali. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm kind of tired too, is because it seems like, woo. Well, they added it a while back. I guess people who studied this even more than I did studied it, and actually, that was come up with a long time ago. We've known this. It's just it was their proclivity to be able to do that. It's their calendar. Oh, I am at 11:35. I'm sorry, I am late. I forgot it's not Sunday when a Sunday stream. I usually have one at 11:30. It was supposed to be 10:30. Really sorry that I'm this late. Um, yeah, I was wondering about that too. If you were going to lose, wouldn't you want people to think? Yeah. Well, see, that's just it. It's been a while now, and I mean it said the very elect were going to be deceived, and they all are. I mean, our elected officials are mostly deceived, and a lot of. I mean, evil controls most of the money. The families in power that have most of the money in the world are not nice people. And, just about everything you'd want. I mean, sporadically, not everywhere at once in the world, but at some point, the all of the tortures and stuff for beliefs did happen to the Albigensian people. That was way back. I mean, they were tortured, and all of those torture devices that you found, that you find lying around in museums and stuff, were for heretics. So it almost looks like it happened, you guys, and it almost looks like I'm trying to decide. I know people have different opinions about this. Was Constantine the Antichrist? Because it's his, I believe he's the one whose nephew was the image they took for Jesus to paint. They painted the Jesus portrait from. So, you know, I don't know, but I think we might be already post-apocalyptic. Melted cities. Apparently, we had huge, very teeming, populous, and populated cities just all over the place. And I saw them, and we found evidence of that too. I'm not, alone in this. There is evidence of this, that there's evidence of building out in the middle of deserts and just in places where there's nothing else exists, no towns around it, no cities around it. And they're, obviously you look at the topography, there's stuff there. There was stuff built there. And then you find these mountains that when you look closer at it, they kind of look like maybe they were a building. They have these holes in them, these cave systems. And then you realize it kind of looks like a melted building. It's like, wait, could that be a melted city? And what would melt it? Plasma could do that kind of a job. I suppose nuclear could do that kind of a job, but plasma could definitely do some very strong heat like that to even melt rock. It looks like that happened. So where are we? It kind of begs the question, considering what kind of stuff we have on now, Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Well, Pappy, what I'm thinking is, what if it's just history? And I know it's been altered quite a lot. Yeah, but it would have to be a lot of volcanoes all over the world in order for this to happen. I realize that it's been I'm sorry, the Bible has been very compromised. And if you're Christian, I'm sorry, but it has. And you should know, if the wolf is now lying down with the lamb instead of the lion, it's been compromised. And Jesus's name would never be Jesus, because that's a Greek name, not a Hebrew one, just for starters. And it means Zeus. So there is truth in there. If you can still get at it, it's like, but it looks more like it's a history book. And maybe that's all already happened. And that's why it's hard to understand some of it. And especially people get stuck on Revelation. Maybe it already happened. This is a history book, and that's why it looks like that. I don't know. Yeah, I think that is quite possible. And there's also another factor in that. People keep building churches and other places of power on ley lines. Well, guess what? Michelle Gibson does a lot of work with grid lines. The Earth's grid lines, looking at them. Guess what? They might have been originally installed as a power supply. And we know vibration is energy. We know that there's got to have been ways to get free energy. Well, yeah, that would have screwed up everything. And we do know that there was a long, dark, cold season that they say was because of a comet. Or a volcano erupting, but they found out it was more likely a comet. But then again, at the Farsight Institute, they found out that one of the things in the galaxy that you can use to decimate a planet is you take an object from space and let it fly into the world, and you pretty much got quite a mess on your hand for the inhabitants. You pretty much attacked the whole planet. So could that have happened? That's what they're seeing. They're seeing that this place was attacked through, or that it is possible to attack through just hurling some object, because by the time it gets into the gravity, it's going to pull itself down in, and then we've heard about these rods of God, that you just take some great big old object, I guess they were rod shaped, and you just pull it over and kind of with just a little bit of a nudge. I guess it doesn't take very much. You just hurl it towards a planet, and once it hits the gravity well, it hurls itself, and then you get tidal waves and floods and all kinds of things. So it doesn't even take an explosion to do that kind of thing. Yeah, see, church doesn't need to be a codified thing. I almost think, I'm not sure I would necessarily use the word church anymore, although in the meaning, in the spiritual sense, we could even call what we are doing in some regards a church practice, but it has no, but not really, because we're not codifying this. We're not making you believe anything. Oh yeah, the extraterrestrial alien metamaterial monolith, alloyed monolith. Oh, glitches in YouTube and people who never stutter are stuttering. The Roman Catholic Church is going to be destroyed. See, Rome never fell. That's what a lot of people don't realize. And we should be able to realize it, because they're still around, obviously. Rome never really fell, did they? Look around. Rome didn't fall yet. So, yes. Hi, Truth. How you doing? I didn't see you come in. Yeah. I know who you mean, Murray. Yeah. Hi, Linda. Hi. Let me see. We've got a lot of people in here. We've got 9 people. Not quite everybody's in, but that's okay. Truth made it. Truth just snuck in the back. I didn't even see. Hello, Truth. It's nice to see you. So, yeah, I'm thinking, everybody is waiting. All of these people are waiting for something that, wouldn't it be kind of funny if everybody's sitting around waiting for something that already happened a long time ago? But see, then they'd have to face that their ancestors, great grandma or great granddad or whoever it was left behind or something. Wouldn't it be? I'm trying to remember how that was supposed to go. Either that or we're at the end of the 1,000 years, just about. That's the way it kind of looks. It's like we might be just about at the end of the 1,000 years of evil, if that is a history book. So we could be at a whole different place in that history than we think we are, if that's a history. So it's weird. I mean, but there are other, books that talk about the end. There are other beliefs that talk about the end of things and what it's going to be like. Oh, say hi to hi Marie's mom. How are you doing? So maybe they're right, but maybe it already happened. I don't know. Maybe the world did end and we weren't informed. And they're just shining us on. We don't know. They're not going to let us know. One thing's for sure, history as it's been told to us is not factual. And those are not the facts. And I mean, we looked into that a little bit last time. We are not being told anything really factual, I don't think. Maybe maybe it's dotted or loosely based on a truth, but I doubt it. It looks like most of it was probably just made up. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad she's happy. Yeah, well, I'm glad you decided to come in and see the stream too. You have a lovely daughter. We all love her here. She's great. Yeah, hi Chris, how you doing? No, that's sure true. We are not what we're seeing. These are our Abbeys. These are our little Abbeys that we use to interface with this version of reality, which from my point of view would be the past. This would be the past. We're in the past. I'm visiting the past. Because in the future, if you hang on, and it looks like we are going right for that future. We've already got the start of that future right now. I've seen it. The very future that I thought long ago that I tried to express to people that they didn't want to believe me. And back at that time, I got smart enough to clam up about what I believed. Because as some of my friends have not learned to clam up with the wrong people. You know what? You're allowed to not talk about certain things with the wrong people. You don't need to inform or try to dissuade people of their erroneous beliefs if they're dead set against it. That's their free will. If they want to believe something totally that is totally bogus, well, and you can't persuade them, that's their choice. And I just let them go. Unfortunately, it's like right now, people are so hypnotized that some of them are, if they had a gnome staring them right in the face, they'd believe the scientist that said you're delusional. That's not a gnome, it's pareidolia. So Yeah, I think we are too. And that is a sacred symbol. That trident symbol is inscribed on a lot of the standing stones around the world in different ways, in different styles. A trident spear. And that could well be what it means. I mean, although there is some evidence that that was an energy weapon. And because they had a lot of weird energy weapons back in the day. One of them was the dorji, the thing that looked like a dorji. Now, those of you who, and I know Jarvis will know exactly what I mean when I say rod of lordly might. I think that might have been the dorji. So, shall we say that the two symbols in India, the stupas, are effigies of Vimanas. And the dorji, we see people holding them as weapons. They may not be what people think either. A dorji might have originally been a weapon, or a thing that looked like a dorji, an energy weapon of some sort. The thing that threw lightning bolts, in fact. Yeah, some people will have to come back to Earth School again. Yep, the divine triune, exactly. Some people will have to come back to Earth School. Well, yeah, that's part of what life is. You know, you miss the mark, come back, try again. That's kind of comforting in a way that it can happen that way instead of, you know, a one big pass fail and you screw up, you know, and you screw up and somehow that's it forever and ever. You're done. It's all over. And think of how dumb you were when you were a kid. I mean, you know, not a kid so much as like when you started getting, let's say, how many dumb things you did when you were maybe a preteen or a teenager. If that's all held against you, stuff we did when we were really young and kind of goofy and wild. I mean, if that's what your whole future is going to be based on, oh my God, is that scary, right? Yeah. Well, just remember humans are forever. Humans are forever, you know, your spirit is forever. So, uh, of course, you will have a chance. You know, and that it's really is to me that yeah, it's so much more comforting to think that you'd get another chance to get it right. You know, um, okay, you guys are pretty brilliant, so I just wanted to see what you really all thought of that idea because I think we're going to be hearing more of it. I met a couple guys way back in a 3D chat, and I know they have streams now because they use their names, and it's really funny because they were giving me a hard time back then. They were Bible belter types. They'd belt you with the Bible as soon as look at you, and they didn't like what the kind of stuff that I had to say, so they harassed me kind of, and you know they gave me a hard time about it. So I'm sure in their minds I was going straight to hell. But I said to them, I remember telling them, The difference between us, my friend, is one day you keep studying. Oh, you say you're studying and studying and studying, are you? Well, one day keep studying and you'll start to think a lot more like I do. And guess what? Years later, and it must have been, maybe 20 years now, sure enough, they're thinking a lot more like me. Because the more you study, I used to study that stuff all the time too. And now, you know what? I don't study it anymore. I'm just out of that phase. Oh, as a child, yeah, that's why I changed it. It seems like there's this break point when you become a preteen, when you really get crazy. For a while, oh, I'm sorry. Maybe it's the hormones. Like I said, I didn't get enough sleep last night. Maybe it's the hormones coming out that does it to you. But you get you get a wild period for a while, and especially 12-year-olds and 12-year-old boys. They get almost like a homicidal period that they go through, where kids go through a period where they're interested, a lot of them, where all they're interested in is death and destruction. Maybe because the knowledge of death and destruction have been kept from them all their lives, and it's novelty. I don't know. However, you know, they go through that period, and it's like, oh boy, if I had to base a lifetime on years like that for a person, and then they grow up and they're fine. They grow up okay, but that's kind of what Kubrick was trying to say with Clockwork Orange. Is this guy is ultra violence, and you know they take him in, they do all this stuff to him to change him, and then it turns out that his friends, in the meantime, when he gets out, they've become police. They change. They're just on the other side, and they go from being criminals to being police. It's really weird. Yeah, the problem is we grow up. Loopers, oh boy, yeah, I wonder about that. That almost, to me, that kind of sounds like an NPC problem. Are these people, we talk about the NPCs. There's more than one belief that says not everybody has a soul. Some people do not. It's the NPC idea. They are here for background. They have a sort of an awareness and they have a sort of being, but not like we do exactly. So that would be, I'm trying to remember how that's supposed to go. If anybody knows, let me know. I'm dying. Yeah, you've done it before. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Yes. We're just having death practice. Right. There you go. Trying to reason with people stuck in their beliefs is like pouring a full cup of water all at once in a vat of acid. They erupt and add the water gradually, and over time you may neutralize closed minds. Well, see, we unclogged the system. I expect things to be quite different. What we did that Saturday, crossing over all of those stuck people, That would be a real drain on any kind of energy system to have all of those people stuck. And not only that, but I mean, all of the angst and horror and fear and sadness and, yeah, you know. So that being removed, we should see a lot of things. But I have also seen, it seems like, a lot of kickback from that too. Now, I personally have not been harmed, and I'm very thankful for that. But I'm seeing a lot of, well, just in general, if a virus is being removed from the system, it is fighting and kicking like crazy. And people who are, like I said, for some reason, we, well, that's a thought too, but there's more than one source that has commented that there are some that are just there for, it's almost like in a game. And once again, we go back to, is this a game? Total immersion game, like my memories. Because without any NPCs, you can't advance the plot. It's hard to get certain things to happen without them. Uh, certain programmed, them doing certain programmed things. And so they're only there really to advance the plot or advance your learning, and for no other reason. And so, soulless people, yeah. I mean, or, well, I don't know. Uh, no, there, it seems like there are people who are just not, they don't have the ability, and they're called psychopaths. They do not have any understanding. Now, there are others, I guess there are others too, that can be these so-called NPCs, which is a gaming term and really not even a video gaming term. It goes way back. I'm sure Chris will remember back when we were rolling dice, there were NPCs, and guess who made those NPCs? People like me. I was a dungeon master. I was the person running the game. So they were created by me. Their personalities were run by me. They were there to advance the game, and that's the only reason they were there. They did not have a real personality behind them, like a player behind them at all. What if some of these people that cannot change, cannot change, cannot change? I mean, there are examples of it where people, no matter what you try and put in front of their program, they can't receive it. They can't change. They're stuck. They're stuck in a loop. And that's all they know, and that's all they can know is their program. It's really weird. So, oh, really? Yeah, it does feel very much like a game. And some of those who crossed over, well, we have been told that there are spirit hospitals on the other side. There are people who process those coming in on the other side, which is why maybe I had to stop at 35,000 years, because maybe we were at our very limit of how many we could handle and process at the time. Maybe there is a limit. And because people on the other side have to process all this too, it's impacting them. Um, yeah, I can imagine. And it does feel a lot like a game. There is that force that tries to hold those who should cross, yes. Exactly. There are people who feed on them, use them. I saw that in New Orleans. I didn't realize what I was even doing, and I did my first mass crossing over. I realized that only later. Did my first mass crossing over in New Orleans, actually, and didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that they needed to be helped. That must have been where it started. And it was a bunch of slaves. They were being held in a room. There was a lot of sorrow. It was like they were hiding. It must have been hiding from being caught or something. But I remember saying, the light is going to come flooding through here soon. And if you're not ready to leave and deal with that, you better leave soon, because it's coming right through here. And it's going to be, for some of you, it's going to be your way out. And sure enough, and another psychic that was there sitting there on the park bench with me saw the whole thing. He saw the whole thing. He said, wow, that was amazing. You know, you really did something important there. And I did not realize it was going to be kind of a career. I didn't even know what I was doing at the time. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew something had to be done. But somebody got mad because of that. I pissed somebody off. Yep. See, Marie, that's exactly, you weren't here at the time. Or maybe, were you here when I was just saying that. My memories are, there's this big university, academy, whatever you want to call it. A lot of us remember it. And there is this library. And at this library, which is our repository of knowledge, there is a machine. And the machine contains not just books, although those are some of the things. We have just about every recording medium there is there. But we also have a machine in which you can experience any time period that we've managed to record. And we have remote viewers who can also record the experiences they have from all over the place. So we have the history of everywhere, and people from everywhere come to see it and to experience it. We made it total immersion because that's the best way to learn. I mean, if you're totally immersed in it, you're going to learn. It's the best way to learn a language too. You know, go to France if you want to learn French really well, really fast. You'll have to learn it, right? So we made it totally immersive. Which means you have to forget. Every time people would ask me, why do we have to forget? And all I would get back would be, because if we didn't forget, we couldn't play the game right. That was the answer I got. And we made it a game because we wanted it to be kind of fun, you know? And so you could choose the time period you wanted to experience. But then we found some anomalies happening. Some things were not working quite right, and we had to come in and find out why. And I was one of the people who came in to find out why, because we couldn't tell from the outside. Problem is, you do forget when you come in here. And so I got a download from Seshet in between when I died that time. It didn't unpack for a while. Anyway, so I'm an administrator there. Quite often I can see who people are here. I can't say very much about, I couldn't say very much about this before. It was too dangerous. You could get into too much trouble, but now we're in a time when we can finally say something about it. But I do have the authority to talk about it with people when I see fit. And I obviously, you guys are the types that can handle this. Oh, is SOR on? Okay. Well, I don't know when SOR is on, but sorry about that. I know you watch that too. So Marie, you're probably a librarian, or you work at the university or academy or whatever you want to call it. We don't call it a university or an academy. Yes, it's a total immersion learning game. And it was supposed to be fun. And we were wondering why it wasn't fun. People were not having fun and people were not graduating out of it. It was like, that's a mess. Yeah, we are doing it. And it does feel like forever. Yes. Yes, that's why I always call them. When I open the portals, and I don't know how, I guess this is something my family does. One of the things we do, my family, um, we do make sure that there are guards and guides so that people don't get lost again. So, and you're forever, but yeah, stuff can happen. So everybody that we do cross, that we do help to the next world, they've got people looking out for them. Like I said, a lot of people have been informed. I mean, more than one psychic has got that there's something like spirit hospitals waiting for these people who really need help when they come over, to help them accustom themselves to the new place. So that's why on that pass we were only crossing over people who were already aware that they wanted to go. That's all we could handle. We couldn't handle any more than that, I don't think, at a time. Well, I think I encountered that. And his answer was become a poltergeist. He was a Native American, too. He was angry because his land had been robbed off of him. Even the land that the government had given him was robbed off of him, and his family and them all killed. And he had no sense of time, so he didn't know what a terribly long time had passed until I asked his relatives to come get him and show him. I said, you know, your family misses you. It's been a very long time. Brother, don't you think you'd love to see your family? Because the people that you are doing this to don't even know what happened to you. They have no idea. They don't even own this land themselves. They're old and poor people. They have nowhere else to live. This is the only place they can afford. Somebody else owns the land. Don't you think you would rather go see your family? They are sure to be missing you on the other side. And you know what? He stood. He stood there and thought about it. Now this case was on. It wasn't solved until I solved it. It was on Channel 8 News. Unsolved. They'd already had a Catholic priest try to clear this place, and they'd already had a Wiccan priestess try to clear the place of this, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. Why? They were barking up the wrong tree. Then what happens? Years later, no fanfare, no shot on the news or anything. I meet this person, and I had seen this on the news when I really thought about it. Yeah, I did see that on the news. And she tells me this story, and she's very sick, and she says, and it's everybody there is sick. Everybody living there is sick and gets sicker as they live there. And so I did a mass crossing over, first of all, and then I found out from another person who researched it a while back some of the story. And when I really looked into it, I found out what was actually causing this. And I'm the one who solved that. And then after that, she felt better and she was able to move. She was able to move from that place to a much better place. Yeah, it often will. Yeah, you may be one of the people that counsels them, Holly. I know, because I am too sometimes. Yeah. And this is why we're told to forgive, because honestly, every time you sit there hating somebody who's really suffering, the person doesn't know. The person doesn't even know. Oh, my ears are cold. It's cold in here. That person probably doesn't even know what's going on, but you are stewing. You are screwing up your metabolism doing that. Because when you're doing that, let's just say, and resentment is one of the emotions that can lead to cancer. Right. And I do soul retrievals too, Pappy. Yes. My first soul retrieval, I guess I'll tell you about my first soul retrieval. My first soul retrieval was during a really dismal fair when I was on the psychic fair circuit. Hardly anybody was showing up to it. I said, something weird is going on here. But the woman that did show up to my table, I could feel it coming. As soon as I started the reading, I started seeing this little girl. And I started telling her about the little girl, and I started describing her, and her eyes get really big. And what had happened, I told her, I said, and this little girl, it's a rainy day, it's a gray, rainy day, and she waits for her mom to come home. And she's very sad and angry because her mom is gone and doesn't seem to ever be coming home, and she cries a lot. but quietly. And as I went on, the mother started to burst into tears. She said, "How old does she look to be?" And I said, "She's about 8. And I said, "This is somebody you know, isn't it?" She says, "That's my daughter." And I explained to her what soul retrieval was, because I felt that it was a soul piece. And she said, "Yes, I know when it happened. I had to leave her alone with my boyfriend and go to work. And after I left her alone that day, she was different. She didn't want to be touched. She was angry all the time. She was sad. She wasn't the same child. Something happened, and I'll never know what happened. But she's been a different kid, and now she's 12, and I'm really worried about her." And that was the problem. She thought she was just coming in for a reading, but that was the thing that was weighing on her heart. And so my bear, shaman bear, who helps me with child spirits, he said, "You're going to do a soul retrieval." I said, "But I've never done a soul retrieval." He says, "Yes, you have. You've done them many times." I said, "Really?" Because I just read the book. I'd read a book to remind me. And it sounded plausible and everything, but I didn't know that I'd ever done them before, but I guess in another life I have. And he says, "It's easy. I'll help you. Believe me, you'll be able to do it. It'll be okay." And then it came into my mind that blue lace agate that I had sitting right in front of me, little pieces of different stones to give to people with their reading. There was blue lace agate, and blue lace agate is said to have the energy of a young girl. And so in soul retrieval, one of the things that you use is a dream catcher, or not a dream catcher, a soul catcher, some item that you can transfer it to, because remember, the actual person was not here, the mother was. So the daughter was not there. So I had to use a transfer medium. Fortunately, I remembered the part about being able to use a soul catcher to catch the piece in. Now you see, here we go, the 3 worlds. I guess I'm going to be talking about the 3 worlds of shamanism. There's the above world, the below world, and the middle world. The above world is very ethereal, the below world is very earthy, and the middle world is like this world, but of a different time. And souls can get caught in any of these places. And there are many little places and little parts within those areas, like the Cave of Lost Children, which, if you ever end up there, that really freaked me out when I first saw the Cave of Lost Children. But shamanically, you can go to these places just like you guys remote viewed. And to do this on your own, I suppose it's possible, but usually it's recommended that you have help, even if your help is spirit guidance. Usually it's better to have a shaman help you. But so my bear told me that we were going to do this. And so I said, "Well, do you want to go home to see your mama? Do you want to go home to see your mommy now? I know where she is. Do you trust me?" And she says, "Yes, you seem like a nice lady." It's like, okay, because I can get you home. I described her toy, in fact. I even described her favorite toy. I said, "You see this friendly bear here? would you go with him? Because he told me to do it that way. Would you go with him? She says, sure. So I put him into the stone. Don't ask me how I did that. I don't know how exactly. I can't explain that. And I gave the stone to the mother with specific instructions. Make sure that this is where she can touch it, where she's going to pick it up. So then I sent her off with an explanation as best I could. And sure enough, the next time I saw her, she told me that she had laid it on her daughter's dresser. Now, this was a kid who would not sit on anybody's lap, did not want to be touched, and was angry and sad all the time. Didn't want to ever talk about it. Within minutes, the child came in holding the stone, the piece of blue lace agate, and wanted up on her mother's lap to be cuddled for the first time in 4 years. And she was sure now that she had her daughter finally back and whole. Which, of course, put me in tears for a while. And I said, doggone it, I really did do it, I guess, with help. And then my bear friend, he said, yeah, with a little help, but you'll do more. But that was my first one in this life. Obviously not my first one, though. And then the mother decided she was going to write a book. I don't know if she ever did, but I may be in a book somewhere. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what timeline collecting is, so I couldn't answer that. Yeah. That's how that goes. Yep. That was quite an interesting introduction into what I could do. That's when I started to really believe, I guess, am I some kind of shaman or something? You may be a shaman if. You may be a shaman if. Okay. I didn't know. Oh my God. Denali, that sounds like a past life memory, all right. I don't think it's the same thing, Truth. No. Soul retrieval is different. Soul retrieval is where the shaman goes after a part that the person has lost, and so they cannot feel their full energy. They usually have some kind of malady. And the timeline, yes, we go into the 3 worlds in order to retrieve the soul piece that has broken off or been, you might think of it less as broken off, but as partitioned away, as in, and it's already known by science that this does happen. With trauma, you will start to partition off pieces of yourself and even have multiple personalities, because it's just a natural thing that we do to protect ourselves. Is we apparently have this preservation thing that we do. Hi, Lucid, which is we section off a piece of ourselves to keep ourselves from hurting, to keep going. Because there's times when you don't have time to sit there and cry. There's no time. You have to keep going in order to save your life or somebody else's. And this would have happened to us a lot of times throughout history. So some of us might be missing pieces. I don't know. Is it possible to be missing pieces from other lives? Possibly. Yeah, you would have new lives with new families. I had that happen many times. Yeah. You have a new life and you have a new family. Yeah, it means you were together previously. You knew that person before and you recognize each other. Could even be one of your soulmates, which is one of the pieces of you, of your whole, which maybe we'll get into that concept at some point. But it's kind of like a family group, but not quite. I have my theories about that too. I think I might have figured out what's really going on there in different terms, in more modern terms. Right. Just realize it wasn't this life where you met. Yep. Go on. So suppress all your feelings? No, you know what? The problem is when you suppress your feelings, they do stuff to you. They're still there. They get embedded and hurt you. That's the problem. That's the problem. But you realize that in order to save your life, maybe you just saw somebody get shot. But you can't sit there and cry about it because you got to run. Because you've got other people depending on you, or just you want to save your life. You don't have time. But later on, that becomes a stuck emotion and it hurts you. So, no. If you can feel the feeling in real time, is much better. And let it flow right through you instead of getting stuck. That's better. Because otherwise, you're eventually going to have to dig that puppy up and feel it anyway. So, but no, sometimes to save your life, it's just the way you're built. I mean, but your feet got to run right now. Your eyes can't cry because your feet got to run. Or something else happens. You got to handle it. It is a very surreal day, isn't it? Yeah, you acknowledge it and let it go. Eventually you get to the point where you can feel things and it's brief, but you do feel them. It's good that you feel them all the way through. As a matter of fact, there's a whole line of therapy I guess I will talk about that I've learned, where you feel your feelings through and thereby get a gift out of it, because usually that's what's blocking certain things. Oh my gosh, I just realized. Some of these people who are having blocks to this and that may be it. Could be you need a soul retrieval. Could be that you have some blocked emotions blocking up whatever it is you need to do or want to do. We'll have to talk about all of this at some point. Don't worry. I'm going to put the link out in case somebody wants to come in. I forgot to put the link out. Well, lucid, it's affecting you. You can't help it. We're emotional beings. Oh, wow, my allergies. We're emotional beings. And it can't help but affect you. So yes, it is affecting you, even though you don't feel it. Now, if you can find it and get rid of it by feeling it all the way through and let it flow. Because see, we're made to flow energy, not to stash it away. And that's when we're healthy. We can do that. But, you know, there's all kinds of things that where we feel forced to stuff it, which is never a good thing. You know what? That's funny. That happens a lot. You're welcome. They married into the family. Well, I didn't say you have to let the relationship go. You don't have to let the relationship go. I'm talking about your attachment to whatever might have happened previously, the last time you knew him. You have to realize this is a different life. So just like Denali here, turns out he killed her in another. This happens a lot. You could end up friends with somebody who killed you in another life because your souls are showing up together again to learn something or other from each other. Yeah. I mean, my guy who's on the other side, we had different spouses. He's my guy, and he'll always be my guy. Well, maybe he won't be a guy, though. He might not always be a guy. He might be sometimes a female. In fact, in one life he was. In one life, I remember he was the prettiest bride. He was the prettiest little blonde bride. And I was a big, tall man with dark curly hair. And we had a good life together that time. But this time, he was with somebody else at the time, and so was I. So this life was different. Yeah, letting yourself cry, letting yourself feel happy, sad, angry, letting it flow through you, seeing it through to the end, and then once it's all spent, whatever it was is over, and you usually unblock something that way. Yes, it can be very confusing. Well, there's a reason why you forget. Once again, how do you play the game if you remember all the past relationships? You remember every detail of every past relationship every time you see the person. How do you play the game and learn something new? It's funny. Yeah, I guess. Because that was the answer I always got. Why do we forget? Well, because you can't play the game right unless you forget. How can it be total immersion unless you forget? How can you learn something entirely new unless you forget? If you knew Yeah. Sometimes you're the son or daughter, and next time they are, or maybe they're the guy that killed your mom, or maybe they're, you know, it goes around and around. Yes, it does. Well, that is one thing, is go to it, a quiet, safe place if you've got one, and let yourself feel the feeling all the way through, no matter how horrid it is, until it stops. That's one way. That's called diving in. There are other ways. I can see I'm going to have to do a show on this. I'm going to have to devote some time to this. This is another thing people need help with, yes. Yes. Yep, that can happen. That can happen. Right. You may need a soul retrieval. Yeah. But feeling your feelings is one way. Another way is you may need a soul retrieval. You may have a stuck piece somewhere that happened when at a certain time at a certain place. That's what a soul retrieval is for. It's kind of involved. All of this, you're asking a lot of questions. Well, in a way, that's true. We often hurt ourselves. Us who did the trauma, we do a lot of trauma to ourselves. We do. It's true. Yeah, that happens sometimes. And people have talked about that. Psychics have come up with that, and great thinkers have come up with what the heck is going on there. They've found that, sometimes new ones get pulled in. Um, I would expect that the reason is there's something needs to be learned there. Maybe. Maybe he killed you last time. Sometimes, the trauma can last a while into the next life. Yeah. It is clearing karma. What is karma? Think about it. What is karma? Yeah, you're clearing karma. And you let it go with love. There you go. That's a good way to look at it, Pappy. Research the soul retrieval. And if you need one, you know who you can ask for help. I'm here. And there are others. And I'm sure that some of you, at some point, I'm thinking somebody here will probably, and maybe you, come up with that. Start doing that. Because I do that. And you're here. So that may be why you're here. It's because you need to start doing that. That's your thing that you're going to be doing here. Yeah, we don't have to repeat it and repeat it again. We don't have to keep doing it, and it's not Groundhog's Day. Oh, the sound's coming through? I am playing something in the background. It's Miracle Manifestation by Love Motives. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Obviously, some reason they're back. Maybe to let you have the closure. And who knows, maybe that is the answer to my question. Is it? I always thought this was so. As a matter of fact, I have taken back pieces from my past lives. Maybe you need a piece to come back from a past life. I don't know. We'd have to look into it. Well, there could be a lot of reasons you're single. I'm single. I just don't want the pain of being with the wrong one. I would rather be alone than be with the wrong one. But yeah, times like this, family holidays, it's difficult. People have their children and grandchildren, and I do not. I never had any children with my husband. He was, he'd had a vasectomy before our marriage. He didn't ask or anything. No, it was his sole decision. Repeats everywhere. Groundhog's Day. Yeah, weird. I know, isn't it? It's weird. It's like something is glitching up or something and repeating. It's weird. Yeah. Exactly. You know, some of us would just rather be alone than with the wrong one because it's so hard to be with the wrong one, especially, and then you're in a relationship, and on the one hand, then you have all those relationship things, and you feel like I should be doing something about this, but I can't do anything about this. And, you know, it's like, no, or it's just the wrong one can just be so debilitating to whatever else it is you're trying to do. I would just rather miss it. I had several, every now and then I try, but no, you know, every now and then I try to go out with somebody, but it doesn't work out. Um, yeah. The program of It's All Our Own Fault. Oh, you mean it's a new age thing. Everything's really your fault. Yeah, I've heard that too. I don't want to comment on that right now. There's a lot I could say about that. But really, I think it's a way that people punish each other. It's all your own fault. It seems to be the new age way to punish people. Instead of it's a sin, you sinned. The problem is you sinned. You brought it on yourself by sinning. It's a new age way to explain why nice people have bad things happen. But you brought it on yourself. You did it yourself. You chose it, it's yeah. Yeah. Maybe I just don't want to put myself through the heartbreak of leaving an idiot that I have to leave. Yeah. Yeah. So, you know what? This is another thing I've noticed that's really weird. But have you noticed that when there's a breakup, like a bad breakup, like a marriage breakup, a lot of times the man will run right back into another relationship as fast as he can, as soon as he can get it. Mine was in a relationship before ours was even cool. He was already in a relationship before we even broke up. I think. I think he'd been seeing her a while, and he was ready to race right back into another relationship. But me, I haven't been. I've had relationships, but I have no desire to get married. None. I didn't have desire to get married in the first place. He wanted to. And he had to chase me and talk me into it and get all of our friends to talk me into it because I didn't want to get married. And now that I'm out, it's like I don't want to get back in. Yeah, the indoctrination, we're all born sinners. And, I don't buy it either. Yep, the men will just go racing right back in to relationship. And the women will be there like, no, I don't know. I might be a little better off without that. Usually a lot of women, the modern women, the older women in a different time, like my mother, went looking for another relationship right away because she didn't know what to do without a man. In her time, there was nothing you could do without a man. And boy, the one she got was sure something else. But we won't go into that. There you go. Oh, what did you come back into, Jarvis? Yeah, things happen for a reason, but it's like, no, everybody has free will. So, yeah. So, yeah. Well, we went down a path I wasn't expecting tonight, but that's okay. We do that a lot. It's okay. We go down the path that we are meant to go, I guess. I just have to trust that. Sneaks back out of chat. We're going to do some, if you guys want, do you want to do some remote viewing? And I may try to be on, like I said, I'm going to try to be on Thanksgiving Day. Might try to be on a little while on Wednesday too. Stopping at a red light and getting hit a minute later. Oh, you want to do some, how's that with the rest of you? You want to do some remote viewing? If I see some yeses, I see one yes. Cat Friends Lessons. Refresh my memory. Are you talking to me or somebody else in the chat? Cat profile pic. Cat. I don't. Yeah. I have a friend with a cat picture. Profile picture. Wow. Was I like not here when that happened? Yeah, I'm totally lost. Okay. Peppy Two Bears, thank you for being here. Okay. Also, we want to send, one thing I do want to do is, oh, Max Vision. I gotcha, Max Vision. Now I go. Okay, now I get it. The cat, oh God, how could I forget that? Got it. Okay, we are going to be sending Bomber out some love tonight because she needs some help. And we're actually, if you want to help me send out some love to some of these people who are really going through some kind of extreme stuff, I would like to do that. And I would certainly want to do that for Thanksgiving because I know that that's a hard day for some people, is sending out some love. So I think if you guys want, we'll have some kind of a healing ceremony on Thanksgiving too, as well as a thankfulness one to bring more prosperity into our lives. And we'll do some remote viewing. We'll have some fun. Good night. It was the dragon video. Yes, I got it now. Now I finally figured out what you were talking about. And you tried one of his lessons. I got it. Cat friends lessons, Max Vision. Yeah, Max is actually the kitty cat that you see there. His name is actually John, the guy. So yeah, I actually am worried about Bomber, and a little bit. She's got a lot going on, and then I have a couple other people that are just. It's hard to keep up with it. There's a lot going on. A lot of people having hellacious problems right now. Yeah, we're running a little late tonight, so I don't blame you, Pappy. Everybody's got to sleep sometime. I think maybe we will devote a little bit of time each time to sending out some healing and some love. Just a little bit each time. I should do that. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I did not put the circle of protection up because we weren't doing a ceremony and everybody wasn't in yet. Although I feel we're protected, but I didn't put up the circle. Okay, so Bomber's over in Source. She's okay. Okay. Yeah, good night. Hi, Tora Wolf. So you guys feeling tonight is complete, or do you want to do a remote viewing, or what do you guys want to do tonight? Okay. Yeah, I feel it's up. Oh yeah, the colloidal silver. Yeah. Several of us use it. I might have been the one who said it though, but yeah, several of us use that. Okay. Well, I'm glad Bomber's okay because I was kind of beginning to worry considering what's going on with my other friends. I'm awake and it's up to everyone else. Well, I don't see a lot of people saying yes, so I think maybe we'll wait until I'm up a little bit. Well, it's Spaced Out Radio. A lot of people go watch Spaced Out Radio too. And it must be on right now too, which might be why we're losing some people here. Yeah. So, and that's why I also start early on Monday, earlier, is so we can be done in time to, for some of the people to go see that. So I think what I'm going to do is end it for tonight and go on to probably Wednesday and have some things going on Wednesday and expect to do you can expect things like remote viewing and possibly a healing circle. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna make this a short one, and because I like to go see Spaced Out Radio too. It can be wooey too. It's way different from how I do things, but hey, it's a much bigger channel. Okay, I love you guys. We're going to Spaced Out Radio. I'll reconvene with you on probably not tomorrow. I may come on tomorrow for a little while if I get a chance, but I doubt it. But really, I plan on being on Wednesday at some point. So just watch your notifications. Okay. So everybody that was watching after us, in spite of the fact that I didn't put the circle up, but I know you were here anyway, watching after us. I want to thank you all, and I appreciate each and every time that you help us, and each and every time you come and visit. And yeah, I just want to say, I guess I can see this was like to help me see where I need to go next, because I guess we need to talk about soul retrieval and some more shamanic stuff that you guys have questions about. So I'll be working on that, on how to formulate that to best help you with that. And we'll do that. So that's giving me some kind of direction. So thank you everybody for coming. I really appreciate that. And yeah, I haven't been to SOAR for a little bit, so I'll go over there and look at that and see what they're up to and say hi to people. And I really appreciate your input. You're all brilliant. This is Ocean Making Waves. The truth is where you find it. Hope you find at least some of it over here. And you want to learn to be your own shaman. Well, I guess I see my work cut out for me. Yes. Hey, Strangeland. Yes. We'll be back on Wednesday for sure. So look for me. And I love you. You guys are awesome. I'm very blessed to have you on my stream. Good night. See some of you over at SOAR. Thank you. I'm okay. Hey, Strange. Okay. You guys are great. I will send out a reminder. Thank you, Denali. I will. Hi, Strange. I got started late and things were just all out of sorts today. I didn't get any sleep last night, and I had a lot going on today, and it's just been crazy, a crazy, crazy day. So we're ending kind of shorter than we normally would. So, but it's always good to see you. Yeah, this is less than 2 hours. This is some kind of record for us. Okay. See you Wednesday, though, and be sure to check your announcement, Strange. And you too, Marie. You have a beautiful, lovely rest. Everybody rest well, dream well. Good night. Know that you got a tribe here and a family. They care. We do all love each other here. Okay, take care. I'm ending it now. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're not the only one. Oh, you're way by far not the only one. Let me tell you, Todd. I have been a busy shaman. There has been a lot going on. People are just, well, and part of it's holiday season here. That's part of our excuse here, but honestly, it's just wild. I'm really having to run to keep up. Okay. Yeah, I love you guys too. Hope to see you Wednesday. Bye bye. Gotta go. Gotta go. We're all